Adam, good to see you.
And you?
Good weekend. Did you enjoy your weekend after that resounding victory on Saturday?
Yeah, certainly did. Had a few friends that were up, so we went into York and watched the Brighton game. So yeah, certainly enjoyed it after a very good result.
You mentioned it was maybe the sort of football that people thought they were going to get when you first came to York. But there were moments in that game, I'm sure, that you were pulling your hair out as well. It probably wasn't what you wanted to see for the entire 90 minutes.
No, it wasn't. But you've got to give the opponent some respect as well. They made it difficult for us. Got a bit of momentum in front of their fans second half. But large parts, I thought the first half hour was some really good stuff. Maybe could have been further ahead and then 2-0 at the break. And yeah, it's a funny scoreline at half time, 2-0. Whatever team gets the next goal can get some momentum from it. So I thought we rallied well after that, though. We responded well, and disappointed with the manner of the last two goals. But we looked at it, analysed it, and see what we can improve on.
But if you're going to have a day when there's 8 goals in a game, surely it's a day when you've got the best part of 8,000 in the crowd that hopefully now we'll see it is quite entertaining coming down here to watch York City, and we'll come back again.
That's it. That's hopefully the plan. Yeah, it was an entertaining game. I enjoyed it. Like I say, I enjoyed large parts of our play. They would have enjoyed moments that they had as well. Like I say, after half time, in front of their fans, they made it really difficult for us to get out, and got a goal and got some momentum, and it was good to some hairy moments that could have made it 2-2. And Harrison made an unbelievable save at 1-0 again. So, yeah, like I say, there's moments in games that have gone our way, definitely. But the lads kept going, and to get 5 goals at home is always pleasing. So
we move on to Forest Green. Clearly a huge game. Looking at the league table, second versus first, they would go above your side if they win. If you win, you're going to pull 4 points clear come the back end of Saturday night. It's a game that I think everyone is excited about.
Yeah, definitely. As a manager, as fans, and as players, if you can't get excited for these kind of games, then you shouldn't be doing it, really. Like say, first v second, and live on the TV, a bit later kick-off. So yeah, all the hallmarks of a really big game, and we've got to relish that. Like I say, that's what we want the players and the fans and everyone to become accustomed to, these big games. A big game against our a rival on Saturday, and then you go to Forest Green away the next week. So it's tough, it's relentless, but these are the games that we've got to thrive and enjoy, and we certainly will with staff, and just hope the players do as well.
Like the BBC York as well, Adam, don't you? Be doing me out of a job.
Sorry, yeah, of course. You do such a good job with that, so just forget. But yeah, obviously, I'm sure it's just a tough place to get to, tricky time of day as well. So I'm sure there'll be lots of listeners listening to you and watching it on telly.
That's much better. What do you make of Forest Green? Because I've been looking at some of the stats. I never know how much you can believe some of the stats that are knocking around about National League football, because I never actually see anyone on a match day working out and doing these sort of things. But they suggest that in the majority of games, the stats I've seen, they don't have the majority of possession, which I think is quite unusual for a team that's towards the top of the table.
But they're extremely good in both boxes. They attack, they've got a long throw as well. So yeah, in both boxes where it matters, they're extremely good. Defend the box well and attack it really well. So they'll look at that stat as being the most important, and like we all will, really. We like to control the game and get the ball into the final third. But there's more than one way of doing it, and they obviously spend a lot of time and focus on what happens in both boxes, and ultimately that's where games are won and lost. So where it actually matters, they're very good.
Yeah, you look at the names that they've got in their squad. I know they maybe don't have the biggest of squads, but their first 11 or their match day squad, there's some serious names in there for this level of football.
There certainly is. I think they've recruited really well for the level, like you say. And they're definitely going to be the team to sort of beat and be ahead of. If you're ahead of Forest Green come towards the end of the season, you're definitely going to be in the mix. So yeah, it's an opportunity to forge a bit of a gap, but nothing more than that at this sort of stage. We're in a good run of form ourselves. We'll look forward to the game, but yeah, we most certainly won't take the opposition lightly.
He's done a good job though, Steve Cockerell, hasn't he? He's a wily old manager. To turn around a team that's had back-to-back relegations. I know City haven't had back-to-back relegations, but you've turned around a team that's been towards the bottom end of the table the last 2 years. That takes a lot to try and turn that around and get you right fighting at the top end of the table immediately. Yeah,
huge respect to the job that Steve's done. He's got a lot of experience, not just at this level but above this level as well. And this is stuff as a young manager that's trying to make his way up in the game. The kind of people that you aspire to and you want to come up against. So yeah, really looking forward to it. But can't speak highly enough of the job he's done, especially this season. I say he's recruited really well for the level, and they're a real threat in both boxes. So yeah, we've got to defend our box better, and we've got to be more clinical when we get chances. That's for sure. Like I say, we're in a good place. We're in a good run of form ourselves, and we want to try and maintain that.
He's got the second of a two-match touchline ban, so you're not going to see him on the touchline on Saturday. Can you put yourself in his position? How frustrating would that be to you if you weren't able to dictate what's going on from the sidelines? That must be pretty hard for a manager.
Yeah, it is. But at the same time, I had two games towards the end of last season, a crucial stage for us, and in some ways you can take a higher stance and viewpoint and see probably a better view sometimes of the game. So sometimes it gives you a bit more clarity in what you're seeing. So it's obviously not ideal. I'm sure Steve would love to be on the side of the technical area and barking out his orders, but with that you also get an advanced viewpoint, and sometimes that can really help.
Let's look at your side, Dan. First of all, how's Malachi and Dan Batty had to come off last week? Dan was fine. Just more of a tactical one with Dan coming off, so he's absolutely fine. And Malachi's got through all the protocol that he needed to so far. So yeah, we're just obviously he's upped his training a bit today without having any contact with the players, but he's done a bit of running with Sam the physio, and he'll do a bit more tomorrow. So it's just now wait and see really. Obviously if he gets any reactions and stuff like that, then we'll have to take the appropriate measures and protocol, but so far so good. And if he can play, that's a huge boost.
Yeah, massive. Huge player for us. But if not, then opportunity for other players. So we'll have to wait and see. Like I say, we're really dictated on how Malachi feels, and we won't be putting any pressure on him. As great as it would be to have him available to play. At the same time, he's got to be right, and we've got to take the right protocol.
Everyone else okay from last week? Any changes? Anyone not available? Anyone maybe now back available?
No, obviously it would have done Crooksy the world of good to get 45 minutes under his belt. He's progressing nicely. Other than that, it's pretty much the same squad to choose from. No knocks or anything. There's one or two with a bit of tightness, but nothing more than that, which you expect sort of this stage of season. Pitches are starting to get a bit heavier and stuff, and just the intensity of the games of late. Wickham, real intense game, and then obviously Hartlepool was as well. We expect to have a full squad to choose from.
Yeah, you're probably glad of the week break at the minute in between games. How's people like Callum Harriott? Has he come back to the football club yet, or is he still away with his family issue?
Yeah, still away at the moment. We've got to give him the relevant time and space he needs. He's got to be with his wife at this sort of stage, so really respect that, and give him all the time he needs to deal with what's going on there. But other than that, I think everyone's progressing nicely. There's George Sykes came over, he's feeling a bit of pain, he's progressed his rehab, feeling a bit of pain, so he's one that we might have to go and see the doctor and see what we can do to sort of help him along. But everybody else is progressing nicely. Len's in a good place, hoping to put his boots back on next week. We've had Dara, Zander, Levy, and Alex Hernandez now all back with their boots on. So Sam's slowly shifting them all out of the treatment room and out onto the grass, which is good.
Will you have to slowly shift them out on loan as well, some of those players, just to get them back fully fit, really? Yeah,
that's it. Obviously look at how long they've been out and, you know, the best sort of protocol. But obviously when the team's doing well and there's not many injuries, you know, it's difficult, and you need players to play. You know, that's our thinking with Billy Jorvik going for a month, and he's gone somewhere that's familiar to him, and he can go and get match minutes. I was really pleased with his contribution on Saturday. So yeah, you know, we're hoping that him getting a month's loan and getting regular minutes under his belt, we'll see the benefit of that in a month's time.
Well, we've also seen the speculation about Jeff King coming to the football club. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I think we're just waiting on the sort of final details for that to go through. Yeah, just like I say, we're actively looking to see how we can improve the squad, and if we can get it done, I think it's a player that's got experience and know-how of getting out of this league before. So, you know, we'll be foolish not to look at it, and it'll give real competition for places, and I think that's so important at this stage. You know, anyone that's like I say, being average in training or in games, then they've got to up it, and if not, someone's there ready to take your spot. And I think all the time we've got that, it's really healthy competition, and you know, that's what we're trying to create at the club.
I know he can play again in 2 or 3 different places, but where do you think is his best position? I
think predominantly as a right back. You know, he can really bomb forward, and it provides something you know, similar to Ryan Fallowfield, but Ryan can also play very well at centre back. So, like I say, real competition for places. You know, Joe Felix can then potentially play in centre midfield as well, and or left back, and so yeah, it just adds to the depth that we've got in the back line. And you know, I think if we can get Jeff fully up to speed and fully going with us and understanding what we want from him, that'd be a real good addition for us.
How fit is he at the minute then? Is he match fit? Would he be ready to go?
Yeah, I think he's pretty much ready to go. You know, he certainly looks after himself really well. You know, the work that he's done so far in the gym and stuff, I think everyone's been impressed with. So yeah, it would just be more a case of seeing how we play and the patterns that we'd like to work, and that really more a case of that rather than natural fitness. And
good as well to get a bit of know-how into the team. Someone who's been promoted very recently from this level. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, I think there's probably only Ryan who's got promoted from the National League at the top end before. You might think of somebody else, but
I know David Hedgeway is with Sutton as well.
Yeah.
So you know, 2 players that we're bringing in. Yeah, I think that's important. Just a bit of know-how of what's expected. It's a real tough league, and you know, probably the toughest to get out of with only one going up, and you know, the quality that there is in the league. It's real tough, and to have players that have got nous and know-how of doing that, I think is vitally important.
Let's look ahead then to the match. You've got to have some decisions to make, aren't you, I suppose, going down there?
Yeah, we certainly are, but that's how we want it. It's good. It's good headaches to have. You know, the team that started last week performed very well for large parts of the first half, so you know, we've got to look at that. But also see there's been lads that have performed well in training and stuff. So yeah, it's like I say, real competition for places, and you know, it's the kind of headaches that we want.
And on paper, it does look like an exciting match, a contrast of styles. Maybe, as I say, the top 2. It's going to be on the telly as well as the radio. I think there are going to be lots of Yorks fans as well that are going to go down just because of, on paper, how important this game could be.
Yeah, definitely a real, like I say, opportunity for us to showcase ourselves against one of the top teams, and that's all it is at this sort of stage. So yeah, one that we relish because we're in a good place. They'll relish because they're doing well of late as well. So got all the hallmarks, like I say, of a real good game, and yeah, we want to make sure that we're providing our part in that tie. At the same time, I've got huge respect for what the opposition can do.
I know you played Barnet here and beaten them, but would you say it's this side's biggest test so far, with it being away from home?
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, like not being disrespectful to anyone else we played. We've come across some real tough tests already. But yeah, I thought the intensity and the running stats that come out of Barnet was our highest in intensity in terms of running and distance covered and stuff. So I'm expecting this game to be on par with that.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there.
Hiya.
So if we look back to last weekend, I think it's the first time that York have scored 5 in the league since October 2022. With so much at stake, do sometimes we forget that football actually is an entertainment industry?
Yeah, I think we do sometimes, and you know that's the role that you try to play as a manager. Like you want to go and watch these games and be entertained as well, and you definitely feel that supporters are paying good money to come watch you, and they want to be entertained as well. It doesn't always go to plan, but that's always our intention, to go out and try and put on a bit of a show and entertain and play in a style that we like and I sort of find entertaining. So yeah, really pleased that with such a big crowd that they got that sort of entertainment with the amount of goals that were scored.
And when they were scoring those second and third goals, it was at a time really where I don't think anyone thought they'd come back to 5, would they?
Don't know, maybe the second one. The third one, probably not going to get back to 5 because it was so late on. But yeah, there's lessons that we've got to learn from. We're disappointed. We've watched the goals back, and there's clearances that we've got to deal with better. They've got to defend our box with a bit more determination, definitely. I think for one of the goals we had a 4 versus 3, and their lads unopposed putting it in the back of the net. So. Yeah, definitely areas for us to work on, and looked at that and shown the players, see where we can improve. But some really good moments for us going forward as well.
Looking at the Forest Green game, there's so many parallels between the sides. If you look at the last 10 games, York has scored 24, they've scored 23. York conceded 7, they've conceded 8. They've got the National League Player of the Month, you're the National League Manager of the Month. Where's the game going to be won?
Definitely, like I said already, you know, between both boxes, we've got to defend our box with a lot more vigour, because they, you know, are very dangerous at attacking the box, and they're good at defending. So yeah, we've got to be better defending our box and be more ruthless attacking as well. So yeah, in between it, we probably on paper looks like we'll have a bit more of the ball, but you know, it ultimately means nothing. All possession, and the stats that matter is you know, how many times can we get the ball in the final third, and how many shots on target and that we can have, and they're very good at that.
Steve Cottrell's been asked about the game and deliberately played it down. He called it our next game. He wouldn't even mention York as the opponent. Is it a case of one game actually doesn't define a season?
No, exactly that. At this stage of the season, that's all it is. You just focus on the next game in hand, and the next game happens to be the team that's second in the league, and we find ourselves first at this sort of stage, but definitely not going to get carried away. And you know, I'm sure Steve will be no different. You know, it is the next game in the fixture list, and one that we'll look forward to for sure. But no more than that. And you know, it's a tough game for us. We're not going to be paying any less respect or anything to the opposition. They're a top side. But yeah, it's the next game on the fixture list, and it's 100% right. A lot will get made of it, and this is definitely a game to look forward to. But we look forward to all our games at this level.
And they're not taking it lightly, because although he's not on the sideline, they still scored 4 in the last game when he wasn't on the sideline.
No, that's it. It can. You can see things a bit different. I had it towards the end of last season as well. So, they've got enough players with knowledge and know-how. They would have had managers that like to sit in the stand and that before. So, I'm sure the players that they've got, the experience they've got, definitely won't matter too much to them who's on the sideline. I'm sure the messages that are coming onto the pitch will still be the same.
With regards to your style of play, people talk about your style of play. You come from an era where it was quite different, and now we're playing out from the back, some lovely tiki-taka football. How have you developed that? What made you decide on this style of play? I don't really like the word tiki-taka, to be honest, but yeah, we like to dominate the ball and have lots of possession. But I think it's probably just how we played as a youth team player. Our youth team manager, Dean Wilkins, probably have a lot to do with the style I like to play. He was probably a bit more advanced and forward-thinking for the day he was coaching. Very good, and got us to split as centre backs and got us to play out and build from the back. Obviously, it's become a lot more common with the influence of certain managers coming over and adopting that style and getting results doing it. But it's a style that I like to play. Like I say already, it's an entertainment business. People pay money to come watch us play, so we like to entertain, and that's our way and my way of I enjoy, and I'm entertained when our team builds up from the back and creates chances off the back of it. But ultimately possession and just them sort of stats won't mean nothing come Saturday, 8 o'clock, whatever the time will be. It would just be what the scoreline is. So it's a style that I believe in that can get results ultimately, and possession with a purpose. I much prefer to call it than tiki-taka. I think that's a bit more passing for passing's sake. It comes across to me, but it's just the style that I feel we can get results with. Yeah, the tiki-taka stuff really is about that lovely crisp passing. And there was a phase of play on Saturday, and people gasped. It was lovely to see, and you did get out of a tight spot, and you went on the offensive. So when it's used well, and instead of just for show, it's effective, isn't it? Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, definitely. We try to build from the back to get over the halfway line with comfortable possession. That's the aim of why we play how we play. I'm not saying that's the right way or the wrong way. Everyone's got their own way of wanting to play the game, and I think that's what makes it so good. But that's just what I believe in and how I try to coach my team to play, really.
You've alluded to the late finish, which means obviously there's a late kick-off Saturday. Does that change the way you structure the day with the players?
Yeah, just generally put everything back a little bit. Make still like to get them up and have their breakfast and eat really, but just a bit of a longer day, a bit more rest. But then the lead up to the game won't change too much, so we still eat 3 hours before kick-off, still go for our walk, and all the preparation in the lead up to the game will be the same. Just before it might be a little bit more rest.
And it's a long old trek for the fans, but you're expecting still a good turnout?
Yeah, they've been unbelievable so far. Some of the places that we've turned up and there's been 400 or 500 there, and it's been just blown away that that support's there coming, and I'm sure it'll be there on Saturday. This up to now been superb, and really does give us a lift. We're hoping that we get big crowd come follow us again, which they always do, and it's part and parcel of being at a big club, and like I say, we want to go and try and entertain and put on a show for them.
Thanks and good luck.
Thank you.